Yeah, good evening, all Tbcians all over the world. Yeah, it's 6:30 p.m. Nigerian time. So I say good evening to all Tbcians in Nigeria, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all Tbcians all over the world, whichever time you may be, all over the continent. I welcome you all to another live broadcast today, the 16th of July 2018. I've just said it earlier that it's 6:30 p.m. Nigerian time here, and I'm saying good evening to all Nigerians who are Tbcians in the Tbc community. I say good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening to all Tbcians all over the world. Today is another Monday, and we just concluded our send button meeting today. I think it was an interesting fee to actually be in that meeting today. For everybody that was in that meeting, you will realize that yes, it was an interesting meeting to be. And I will employ every division that has their send button on to always make it a point of duty to attend the send button meeting, because admin has actually said it times without number that it's all unnecessary information, first-hand information can only be obtained from the send button meeting. If you want information on the TBC community, you have to make sure that yes, you have your send button on and you attend the send button. It is not ideal for anybody in the TBC community that has his or her send button on to miss. Apart from the admin has actually made it for all TBCians with send button on to attend the send button meeting every Monday. It is important for us as a member of the community to attend the meeting, because that is the meeting where you actually rub minds with the top leaders of the community, where the top leaders of community actually contribute and to the discussion, and a lot of things, important issues are actually discussed in the send button meeting. So I wonder why every division with send button on, with their send button on, is always absent from the send button meeting. It is a compulsory thing for us to attend. Apart from the fact that if you attend the send button meeting and you don't even do a broadcast, you will not be able to have the 5 million cookies reward for the send button meeting. But what is important is the discussion that is always taking place during that meeting. It is an avenue to have first-hand information about the happenings in the TBC community. It is an avenue to be able to know the next line of action in the TBC community. First-hand information is always given out at the send button meeting. So I don't know why, as a division in the TBC community, I don't know why some of us that has our send button on will not be able to attend the send button meeting. It's better to attend it live than even to actually watch the video later. Though every one of us that would not can even does not have the opportunity of attending the send button meeting for one reason or the other, still has the opportunity of watching the broadcast. When they are on watching the broadcast, you can log on through your Ringo Card back office and watch the send button meeting broadcast. So today, I've actually planned to continue with my discussion of yesterday, which was on success and failure. But I decided in just a couple of minutes before I actually came on live, I decided to actually look at a very important thing that happens, I think that was discussed that happened during the send button meeting. Though I think it's just something that we need to actually let the other people in the community know about. And that is the more reason why I just have to change the topic of my discussion today and actually share that my view and opinion about that happening in the community. What happened recently, because the TBC community is actually on the distribution stage, and we are not yet at where we are supposed to be. We are not yet at where we want to be. So the TBC community is not yet at maturity. So there are some things that we are doing that may not help us, that might be an hindrance to us achieving our set target and goal. That will be an hindrance to us achieving our dream. That will be an hindrance to us in the community for getting to our target. That is the one reason why that is what we have to be very careful about. But now, at least, most especially at this period, that TBC admin is still in the distribution stage, and it is not yet an acceptable money to the whole of to the whole universe. We have to be very careful of some of our actions, some of our steps, some of what we want to do in the bid to get the community notice. At this point, I want to actually liken the TBC community to an infant. At a point when you are an infant, as a parent, the responsibility of the parent is to actually protect the child, the infant child, so that it will not be exposed to the danger in the world, to the danger within the community, so that it will not be exposed to the extent that we will have to lose that child. So the TBC community is still on an infant stage because we are actually still distributing the coin. So we should not expose the community to the danger that we might actually that might actually at the end endanger the community. We have to be very careful of so many things that we do. Nobody should actually do anything what the TBC admin has in stock for us. We should always wait for the TBC admin to take any step before we took such a step. We have to be careful of exposing the community to the danger that might actually devastate the community. We must be very careful. So exposing the community to certain things now will actually spell doom to the community if we are not very careful. We shouldn't be in a hurry to actually for those people that are actually too much in a hurry, or you are actually running too fast than the TBC admin. I want us to actually tread very carefully. We need to tread very carefully. We are all aware of the fact that what the TBC community is actually standing for is actually standing against the tyranny that we have in the world. The concept of the TBC community is actually against the norm that the cabal has thrown to us. So definitely, the cabal will want to do anything to actually to ensure that yes, that vision, that mission is not achievable. So it is not ideal for us to actually expose the infant that the TBC community is to that danger at this moment. So we don't. I want to even advise the TBC admin to let us even forget the issue of the fiat exchange for now. We shouldn't even let the fiat exchange for now. Anybody that is actually interested in the fiat exchange, the way fiat exchange, should actually leave the community, because we don't need such people at this time. Because the cabal owns the bank, the cabal owns the central bank, the cabal owns the Federal Reserve, the cabal owns all the regulatory bodies that we have in the world. And yes, this is the same cabal, this is the same set of people that we are actually fighting with. with the mission and vision of the TBC community. This is what the TBC admin and the TBC community is actually standing to fight against. So therefore, what we are fighting is we are fighting the cabal. What we are fighting is we are fighting the troll. What we are fighting is that we are actually fighting the power that is controlling the world. And to be candid, we don't have that strength. We don't have that strength to actually fight them. And if we actually expose the infant that the TBC admin is to this cabal at this moment, it might actually spell doom for them, and we might not be able to achieve our vision and mission. And if we are not able to do this, it is actually going to be dangerous for us. So I actually want to employ everybody in the TBC community to actually tread very carefully. To actually tread very carefully. In the Senate voting meeting, my TBC Nigerian president Favours said something very important, and I actually value so much. That's the fact that yes, if we, on his own opinion, we should even forget about the fiat exchange for now. Let the bank, when we get to where we are supposed to be, the bank will be looking for us. Let us wait till that period when we are actually a target of the bank. We should not be running to the banks now, because at this point, that we all know that it is the cabal that controls all the financial institutions. Definitely, if you are running to them now, that means you are running to the hand of the lion. We are running to the hand of the bear, as TBC Randy has said. We are actually exposing ourselves to danger. We are actually waking up the sleeping bear. We are waking up the sleeping bear by running to them to come to our aid, to come to our community, to come and support our coin. Because definitely you know that yes, the financial institution that we have now, what we have is actually in contradiction to their own. What we have in the TBC community is actually against the agenda of the cabal. It's actually against the agenda of the elite. And the elite controls all these institutions. They will not allow the us to actually succeed in our mission if we have to rely on them, if we have to call them on our own to come to our aid. We don't need the bank for now. Everybody in the TBC community must actually work, must actually ensure and cooperate with the TBC admin. Nobody should actually take any action outside the TBC admin. We should always be focused with our distribution. What we have here now, the responsibility we have now is to actually ensure that yes, we distribute the gift to every nook and cranny of the world, to everybody out there, so that at least we can also get to our target of 1 billion community membership in a very short time. We should be seen as actually operating as actually operating and under not even exposing ourselves now. We should be operating underground now. I'm not saying we should not have merchants into the community. We can as well discuss with merchants that actually understand and know the vision and agree with the vision and mission of the TBC community. We can bring in merchant that agrees with the vision and mission of the TBC community, that understand the reason why TBC community is actually existing, that actually understand and agree and agree with our vision and mission. We can always bring them in. But bringing in the financial institution at this particular point in time is actually very, very dangerous. And we should be very careful if we have to do something like this. We cannot even afford to do something like this at this period. I said it earlier that TBC is actually at an infant stage where where it needs the complete protection of the parent as a child And who are the parents? We are the community members, are the parents that I am talking about. We need to guide the TBC coin jealously. We need to guide the TBC coin very, very well, so as it will, so that it will not actually be like we are exposing the community to attack. We are exposing them to attack, because if you have an infant baby and you are not taking care of the infant baby, and you are exposing the infant to the environment, you are exposing the infant to the environment, you are likely to suffer a kind of the infant is likely to suffer through sickness. And if care is not taken, such parents would likely lose the infant. So that is why it is important, when you are when a child is an infant stage, it is the responsibility of the parents to actually protect the child from external attack. And that is what we are saying that we should do as a division in the community now. That is what we are saying that we should do as a member of the community. We shouldn't be in a hurry to actually have to exchange, to bring in a financial institution or financial authority to actually come to our aid. What if we do that? What we are trying to say is we are trying to expose the community. We are trying to actually hand over the community to people that are actually looking forward to destroying the community. So they will have easy access to this. That is the more reason why we are saying, even at every point in time, some of the rules that was actually read out today was the fact that yes, the identity of the TBC admin is not to be disclosed by any division. The identity of the TBC admin is not to be disclosed by any division. The identity of the TBC software and every other thing that has to do with our coin need not to be disclosed by any division. So it is important for us that to keep the secret of the community as secret for now, until when we are actually ripe enough to actually take ourselves out, and that is going to be from the TBC admin when the time comes. So we don't really need anybody to actually bring export integrity to any financial institution now, because it's like exposing us it's like actually handing us over to the troll, like handing us over to the cabal that is willing to have us killed and destroy the community, destroy the vision of the TBC community. I want to employ every division out there to tread with caution. I want to employ every division out there to tread with caution. Whoever still has the notion or ambition of actually bringing begging the financial institution to come and accept our coin should stop that henceforth, because it is actually dangerous to the community. We must ensure that yes, at every point in time, we protect the coin, we protect the community, we protect our coin until that period that we all know that yes, we can actually go out there and be able to fight the injustice that we stand to fight. Because if we are not very careful, the TBC, the troll, the cabal that are out there to ensure that yes, we are not able to achieve the vision and mission of the community. They are still the ones that owns all the institutions that we are talking about. They own the financial institutions, they own the Federal Reserve, the central bank of actually every country. They own them. They own the Federal Reserve. They own their Deposit Insurance Corporation, or they own all those institutions that are actually that are actually control the financial the financial economy of the country. And what we are doing, what we actually have as a community is actually in not in agreement with their own plan. It's actually against their own plan and agenda. And anything that is against the plan and agenda of the elite will try as much as possible to not to allow that agenda to see the light of the day. The elite will try as much as possible not to allow such agenda to be realized, to come to reality. So we need to be extra careful for if we don't want to actually expose the community to danger. We need to be very careful at this period. We need to be very careful at this time for us not to expose the community into danger. The community has actually said, we have actually said this earlier, that what we need now for every division is to keep distributing the coin. How many of even those people out there have you even distributed the coin to, that you are actually asking the financial institution to come to your aid? How many of the distribution have you done? How many of those people out there have you actually helped with the free gift that admin is given? The admin has gave us 1 month promotional period where 500% bonus is given. How many people have you been able to bring in within those periods? The migration is about to end. What are you doing to ensure that those people that you are giving the free gift to pays their $10 to be able to migrate to the new wallet? All these activities we are cannot even finish them until, so the migration will come to an end by the end of July. We have just few days to the end of to the migration, that's 15 days to the end of migration period. And we still have a lot of divisions out there that have yet to migrate their coins to the new wallet. What are you doing to actually let them migrate those to the new wallet, instead of you actually dissipating your effort to those areas and ensure that those people were we got their coin, have their coin migrated to the new wallet by paying their $10, and they now actually migrate to the new wallet. So instead of you doing that, you are actually busy looking for a financial institution to come to your aid. Who is asking you to do that? The community is not asking you to do that. TBC admin is also not asking you for that kind of service. So you cannot even be doing anything outside what the TBC admin has approved for us to do. We can only discuss with merchants and bring in merchants that is even in line with our vision and mission. That is what we should bring to the community. We don't want somebody that is actually having a contrary opinion about our vision and mission, that is not in agreement with our vision and mission in the community as at now. We don't want people that will actually scatter the community. We want people that will work together to build the community for now. That is what we need. And we have said the TBC is still in the distribution stage. Like we that favored Tonano, my Nigerian president, that rightly said, we still have about 990, 997. We have about 3 million membership now, and we are going to 1 billion. We still have about 997 million people that we still need in the community to actually get to our target. So we have a lot of work to do on our hands. Instead of us facing that and ensure that yes, we actually bring in much people as possible, why do we have to dissipate our energy is something that is disruption of the community. Is something that might actually lead us to our actions that will help us to distribute on their fortune, their inheritance that we are fighting for. So all divisions are actually in fact it actually pains me when I had that during that meeting, and it was actually a serious matter that needs to be discussed, and we need to let our people know that yes, we should not be too much in a hurry to actually have an exchange like the financial institution. We can have an exchange that we can have within our community, like the TBC code and TBC Ringu code, like the TBC code and Ringu code that is approved by the TBC admin. That is a peer-to-peer exchange, and it is not bringing in a third party, Randy Wilson has actually said, bringing in a third party to come to our aid as an exchange. That is very dangerous at this point in time. We cannot afford to actually derail. We cannot afford to actually expose ourselves to danger at this period. So that's why it is important for us to tread with caution. We should, anything that we want to do at all outside what the TBC admin has instructed, we must actually get the approval of the TBC admin. In fact, as said, Favor has rightly said, to me, the fiat issue, we should even forget about the fiat issue for now. We should focus on how we can grow the membership of the community, how we can develop, we can continue to grow the membership of the community as fast as possible. People like Stephen Covey has agreed to come to Africa for the sake of growing the community. People like Randy Wilson has agreed to come to Africa as well. Why don't we also think of a better thing to do to grow the community? Instead of us looking for how to get rich quick, the TBS community is not a get rich quick community or a platform. So anybody that is actually looking for a get rich quick platform can actually look elsewhere outside the TBC community, because what we are saying, what we have is the future. What we are planning for is our future. What we are planning is our forever liberation from the norm that the Kaaba has put us. So it will take time for us to be able to plan well and be able to get what we want from the Kaaba. We need to actually detach ourselves from the norm, from that acceptable norm that we think that we have presently. And that is the more reason why we have to be very careful. We have to keep growing the community. That should be our focus now. That should be our focus now. We should be growing the community instead of actually looking for a get rich quick platform or solution for the, so we don't need that for now. If you want to actually if you need money in the community, a lot of things have actually been, a lot of plans, a lot of ways has actually been suggested to us. As part of it is the cash flow thing that the TBC admin is actually talking about. The TBC Randy has started a cash flow training program for all divisions. And if you need money and you need a cash flow, I think you should join that training program and see how well you can make use of the idea and the idea that TBC, the idea that TBC Randy will be doling out during that meeting. So I think that we can always make money in the TBC community if you need money. You can actually, when you keep introducing, when you keep giving out the gifts to people, and those people now looked at what we have given to them, and they actually studied the community and understand the community perfectly, they can still come back to you and say, yes, please, that thing that you give to me, how can I buy more? From there, you can make your money. You don't need any fiat exchange. It's the fiat, you can actually make your money from the fiat to fiat or sales of the TBC coin within the members that you introduce to the community. So it is better for us. I think I've said it, and I want the TBC admin to actually let us leave the issue of the fiat exchange for now, because I want to believe that if this is introduced, it might actually be something. You might actually use the opportunity, you might not misuse the opportunity, and that would be kind of dangerous to the community. So I think TBC admin, yes, I know he's always living up to his promises, but this time around, if you look at what is happening presently, we need to look critically at the issue of fiat exchange and be able to look beyond the fiat exchange and see what might likely be the result if the asset is introduced at this point in time. Because TBC admin has not even introduced fiat exchange, somebody else is actually looking for a financial institution as a third party to bring in a third party to actually assist and the community in exchanging. That's very bad. That's exposing us to a very serious danger at an infant stage. We need to keep growing the community. That is what we need for now. We need to keep adding to the community, because the more you add to the community, the more the value of the TBC coin grows higher. So that is what we should be planning to do, instead of actually waiting or actually looking for a financial institution that will actually come in as an exchanger. We don't really need that for now. So all the vision and advice to actually decision the idea of when will the fiat exchange be coming, when are we going to have the bank, when are we going to have the, when can I exchange my TBC for fiat currency. This should stop. This yearning should stop. Let us all focus on growing the community. That is the responsibility that will actually pay us at the end of it all. That is the responsibility that each and every division should have for now. That is the responsibility that can assist us to get to our destination faster. So that is what we have to do in the community for now. Let us not be running faster than the TBC admin. Let us do, we know that yes, we have a lot of intelligent people in the community. A lot of people are actually in the community that are very, very smart and intelligent. But as much as you are smart and intelligent, you should not be running faster than your shadow. You shouldn't be seen as running faster than your shadow. We should allow the sleeping dog in the TBC community to, and in the world, to lie, to lie. Because if we do that, it's like we are actually waking up the sleeping bear, as Sid said. They are actually waking up the sleeping lion. So don't let us wake up the sleeping lion, so that the lion will not devour us, so that the lion will not destroy our perfect plan to actually detach ourselves from the tyranny that has pervaded the world. So let us tread carefully. My message today is for us to tread with caution in the TBC community. For every member of this message is going to every member of the TBC community, including myself, to actually tread with caution. We should be very careful of any action that we want to take. We should look at it deeply. What is the likely, what would be the likely result of this my action, the action that I want to take? Is the action in line with the TBC vision and mission? Is the action in line with the agreement that I have signed with the TBC community? Is the action in line with what TBC admin want? Is the action in line with the focus of the community? If it is not, then we should not bother ourselves taking such an action, because it will not help the community at long run. So what our target, our aim should be for us to collectively get to our destination, collectively achieve the result, collectively achieve our dream at the end of it all. That should be our focus. And anything that will actually make us not to achieve our aim, not to achieve our vision and mission in the TBC community, should not be do not be dabbled into at all. We shouldn't even take such an action. We need to tread with caution. Every one of us is advised to ensure that we tread with caution. That is my message for today. Until when I come your way again on another live broadcast tomorrow, by the special grace of God, I remain yours sincerely, Taufik Adeniyi Ayinla, exhibition from Nigeria, Oyo State to be precise, and saying God bless you. Goodbye. I'm signing out. I say goodbye and God bless. Cheers.